Everybody. This is Mrs. Nara. I'm going to be teaching your nutrition course for fall 2022. And I just want to go over the syllabus for the course and go over some of the rubrics and kind of just go over the general, I guess, plan for what we're going to do for the next several weeks. So let's go over the syllabus. So you'll see what I've got. I've got this on Canvas for you. Let me see if I can find a Canvas up here. Is it this one? Yes. Okay. So Canvas, you'll see it might look a little different for you compared to what my screen is, just because I have the teacher Canvas screen. So I posted an announcement here just welcoming you to the course. And what I want to say about the announcements is that please make sure you read them thoroughly. This is the only way that I'll really be communicating to you, since this course is online. And the only time I'll see you in person is for the exams on campus. So please pay close attention to the announcements and read them. You should be able to get notifications for the announcements. If not, you can go into your settings and change that. COVID questionnaire, you'll only need to do this when you're on campus. So prior to coming to campus for your exams, make sure that you complete the COVID questionnaire. You'll see that there's modules here. So when I talk about modules, they're all titled something. So here we've got introduction, first day requirement, syllabus. We've got dietary analysis there, and then we go into each of our weeks. So week 1, 2, 3, and so on. So to begin, we've got the introduction, first day requirement, syllabus, and rubrics. So right here, you'll click on this, and this is your syllabus for the course. And I'll go over that here in just a minute. That's going to contain all of the information, the course schedule, grading information, course objectives, and percentages, and what the pass-fail grade is. And then here are some of the rubrics for your assignments. So this is for the discussion boards and Q&A, and then your dietary analysis rubric. And just to let you know, all of the assignments will require a APA formatting. So I did provide some resources for you. So Purdue OWL, you click on that and then it goes to a website. Purdue OWL is great. It has some wonderful resources for you, especially for those of you who are unfamiliar with Purdue OWL, and I've actually got it up here. Let me click over to here. So it'll go right to this page here. And here's all the APA formatting for the 7th edition of APA formatting. And then if you click on here, it's got all of the information for you. So you have in-text citations, your reference list. Main thing is you want to read this thoroughly for general formatting. So read all of this, the general APA guidelines, what font you want. Some of the rubrics are specific with what font we want you to use. So make sure you follow the rubrics before you, follow what it says here. But definitely, if I'm looking at grading, I'm going to go by what the APA guidelines are. There is a manual, an APA manual that you can buy. It's a book. I highly recommend that you do purchase it. It's a little expensive. I can't remember the cost of it, but you will use it for the remainder of the nursing program. So definitely recommend that you buy it. It goes over major paper sections, and it talks about title page, gives you sample paper. When we pretty much moving forward in the nursing program, you're going to follow everything in for the examples that goes by student APA formatting. So you do not need to look at the professional paper. So just look at student. We don't worry about abstracts here for student papers. And then there's other resources that they do provide as well. But just remember, when you're looking at APA formatting, and the expectation is that you have all these resources available to you. So you know to go here and look at them in order to cite everything. and use the formatting properly. So you're going to look at this chunk right here, this whole section, to learn how to do APA formatting, and it's just something that unfortunately you're going to have to learn on your own. And it's a requirement for all of the nursing courses and for nutrition as well. I also posted APA resource list, and that has just a bunch of other resources for you on the internet to help with how to do APA formatting. Here you'll go ahead and click on this and introduce yourself, and click reply, and then just type a little bit about yourself. So introduce yourself to the class. What are your nursing goals and interests? This is not required, but it just helps the class and I to get to know who you are. And then you'll also need to do this first day assignment, which is due by midnight on July 5th. This is required for you to do. It's only 3 questions. It's yes or no, super easy, take you 20 seconds to complete. So make sure that you do that. Dietary analysis is an assignment that you'll be doing. It's not due until end of August, I believe. But this has information on what you'll need to do. You'll need to sign up for a MyFitnessPal account, and the instructions for the project are here. Week 1, so again, we go by weeks here. This has all the information on what you need to do for week 1. So there's a video you'll need to watch, and then here's the PowerPoint lecture, and then here is the voiceover for the lecture. So this is your instruction from faculty. So when you do hear the voice, it's not going to be me. It's actually going to be Miss Suzanne Sutton, who is the primary faculty for this course, and she teaches the day division course as well. So if there's any questions you have on the PowerPoint voiceover, please let me know, and I have listened to all of them. I'm very familiar with the lectures, so just let me know and you can email me. There's going to be a discussion board and a Q&A assignment for the first week. Just to let you know, typically for the Q&A assignments, the questions embedded in the PowerPoint. So you have to listen to the instructor and the faculty in the PowerPoint itself in order to get what the Q&A question is. And so it makes you have to listen to the faculty lecture. But the first week, the Q&A question is given to you just to be nice. So week 2, carbohydrates, it's just going to be the Q&A assignment then. Week 3, week 4 is protein. There's going to be some case studies there. And then there's week 5 is vitamins. There's going to be a vitamin chart that we'll need to do. And then a discussion board. So it's a little busy. And then when it comes to the tests, just to let you know, I think up here, so there is going to be a study guide. I don't have it published yet. So of course, during the week, when week 4 comes up, I will go ahead and publish the test study guides for you. So the same thing for test 2. And then I believe we have a final exam study guide for you as well. So I'll try to post the study guides at least a week ahead of the test for you. Okay, so that is the Canvas page. And then I showed you the APA resources. So let's go to what the syllabus looks like. So this is what will pop up when you click on the syllabus from the Canvas page. So 1 credit course, it's 15 hours of online work that you'll need to do. Final exam is going to be August 29th at 5 p.m. Here's my information, my office phone number, email address. You can also reach me at my Google email. So it's amanda.narot@riverside.edu. So RIVERSIDE, riverside.edu. Sometimes this email address gets full. So I actually prefer my riverside.edu address. And if you have a very large file, anything that has like a picture attached or a large PDF file attached to it, please send it to my riverside.edu email. I read I look at both of those email addresses every day. If you need to meet with me, usually Tuesdays are good, but I always can schedule an appointment to meet with you, and we can meet virtually, pretty much virtual appointments at any time, even in the evenings if you need to, or on the weekends if you need to. Course outcomes are listed there. You will need the course textbook. So it's Lutz's Nutrition and Diet Therapy. Just a suggestion for you, because a lot of times you will be referencing the course textbook for some of the assignments. So you can just copy and paste this into your APA reference list, FYI. And then, of course, the method of instruction is going to be the online voice over PowerPoints, discussion boards, peer responses with the discussion boards, and some case studies. So we'll have 2 unit tests that are worth 20% each. All tests will be taken on campus. We'll have a final exam that's worth 30% of your grade. The dietary analysis assignment is worth 10% of the grade. We'll have 4 discussion board assignments, and they're worth 2.5% each. 4 Q&A assignments worth 2.5% each as well. So both of those are 10% of the grade total. So 10% for discussion board assignments, 10% for Q&A. And then that course requirement checklist, which is actually that first day assignment that you need to do. So the one that's due by midnight on July 5th, it's just those questions that'll take you 20 seconds to complete. You have to do it, and you'll just get a satisfactory for completing it. Here's a grading scale. It's a little different than probably what you've seen in some of the other areas. So less than an 80 is failing. Course policies, make sure you read through those. And then here's our course schedule. So week 1, we're going to look at nutrition and human health. Here's the objectives. And then here's what you need to do. So make sure to read, which is my suggestion always throughout nursing school, is make sure you read before you come to do lecture at any time, or before you listen to any of the audio or recorded lectures or the PowerPoint voiceover lectures. So make sure you read all of this before you listen to your PowerPoints. Afterwards, review your notes, take notes while you're listening to the PowerPoint. And then the week 1 discussion board is going to be due Thursday, July 7th, and then the Q&A is due July 10th. And don't forget to do the replies for your discussion board, which I'm going to pull up the rubrics for the assignments, and we'll go over those and what's required. Week 2 is carbohydrates, same thing. Here's the content objectives in the middle there, and then what you need to do before and after class. And then it goes into what's due that week, which is just the week 2 Q&A. Week 3, we're going to do fats. And then week 4, we're going to work on proteins. And then that's the end of test 1 material, which is the end of week 4, July 25th is when that begins. So week 4 Q&A is going to be due on July 31st. And then the following week, we're going to have our first test. And that's going to be on August 4th at 5 p.m. here on campus. It's going to be in building 320, classroom 111. So you'll come in at 5 p.m. for testing, and you'll need to bring in, we'll have scratch paper for you, a calculator if you need it. You may need it if I remember right. And then, you can bring a pencil that you'll need. Everything else like phones, Apple Watches, any sort of smart watches will need to be left up at the front of the classroom, and then backpacks, water bottles, everything will need to be left up at the front of the classroom. So the only thing that will be at the computer while you're testing is yourself, the calculator, pencil, and scratch paper, and then of course the computer. Once you're done with the test, we'll do a collaborative test review afterwards, which is optional. So for those of you that would like to stay, we'll do what's called a collaborative test review. So what it is I provide a paper test that I give to a group of students. So usually I divide the class into a group of 3 to 4 students. And, once the test is done, you guys will kind of hang around in the testing room. And so you'll stay at your computer quietly. You won't get up, move around. You'll just be sitting there waiting until everybody's done. And then once everyone's done with the test, I'll divide you up into the groups for the collaborative test review. That is if you're staying. And then I'll give you guys about 20 minutes to go through the paper test, which is the exact same questions that you just did online. And then you can answer them as a group. And once the 20 minutes is up, I'll give you the answers for the test. And then you, of course, can write on the paper test. You can circle the answers on that paper test. And then once the 20 minutes is up and I give you the answers, you'll return all of the paper tests to me. And it kind of gives you the opportunity to at least know what the correct answers are. And kind of know if you know, which questions you answered incorrectly right away after you took the test. But that's really the only test review that we do. So that's a collaborative test review. And you'll do that quite often with a lot of the other nursing classes as well. And you'll need to write all of your names on the paper tests. I collect all those afterwards. And again, while we're doing the collaborative test review, you will not be able to use a cell phone. It'll just be like you were taking the test with just yourself, a pencil, scratch, not even scratch paper really, because it'll just be the paper test and a calculator. That's all. So that's the plan for test 1 and of course the collaborative test review. So week of August 8th is going to be a student break. And then week 6, we're going to keep going on and doing water and minerals. There's going to be a mineral chart that's due. And then, make sure to do the readings. And then also energy balance and weight management is that same week. There's also a discussion board and Q&A. And then you certainly can work on these assignments ahead of time during the student break, just to let you know, you'll still have access to Canvas. And then we'll have test 2, August 25th at 5 p.m. And then the following week, we're going to do the final exam. So we're all going to be in the same classroom 111 for our tests and final exam. Dietary analysis assignment is going to be due at 8 a.m. on August 26th. These are all submitted on Canvas. So you'll see, for example, like this week, so week 1 is going to be the Q&A assignment. So here's week 1 nutrition, human health Q&A Dropbox. So this is where you're going to submit, and it looks a little different for me because this is where I would edit the assignment, but this is where you're going to go ahead and submit your assignment. Let's see, let me go over the rubrics here. So here's the dietary analysis rubric. This is what it looks like for you. Actually, I'm going to go over the instructions here. So this is the instructions for the dietary analysis project. So essentially what that does is it kind of makes you a little bit more aware of what you're eating. What are your nutrients that you're taking in, and maybe some areas that you can improve on, and maybe some areas that you're lacking nutrients. So it's a good way to do some great evaluation of your diet. You're going to need the MyFitnessPal app, which you can upload or download on your phone, or you can do this from a computer as well. Gives you instructions on how to create an account and how to use MyFitnessPal. And then you're going to go through this for 3 days total. And you're going to calculate calories, fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, sodium, carbohydrates, and then you're going to do a total of all the days. So you're going to do that chart. And then phase 2 is going to be the paper portion of it. So the paper portion, let me see. All right. So the paper portion of it is phase 2. So this is where you're going to look at all of the your food record for those 3 days, and you're going to do an analysis of the food that you ate. So it'll be an APA formatted paper, 3 to 4 pages. Remember to do the title page, okay? And remember, go to that APA Purdue OWL website and it'll tell you how to do the title page. You'll use 1-inch margins, double spaced. This tells you to use Times New Roman font 12 point. And then you'll need to include facts. So facts come from your resources. Look at your textbook. And then, include references. So your textbook is a professional reference. So you'll want to divide your paper up into sections. So you'll have a section 1 where it's understanding your diet, answer all these questions. So make sure you thoroughly answer each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to number it, but definitely label the section 1, understanding your diet, and then in paragraph format, answer all these questions. Section 2, carbohydrates, that's your title. Then in paragraph format, answer all these questions. Same thing, section 3, proteins, that's your title there. And then answer all the questions, okay? Again, 3 to 4 pages. So that's your dietary analysis assignment. Your discussion board rubrics. So we've got that again up on top where the syllabus is located. So for here, the discussion boards, rules for participating in it. So, make sure to follow the schedule to try to remember when they're due. But typically they're due by the end of day 3 for each week, which is that Wednesday at midnight. And then you're given until day 6 of the week, which is Saturday at midnight, to post at least 2 responses to other students' posts. So the response postings must be on a different day than your original post. So if you post your initial post on Wednesday at midnight, remember day 3, your response posts have to be on a different day. So you can't do everything on Wednesday, okay? So you have to do your response posts on a different day than your original post. Your responses need to include complete sentences, grammar, spelling, and they need to be meaningful reactions. So please provide more, a minimum of, I think there's a minimum listed here of 150 words. So please make sure that this is a substantive post for both the initial and response post. And remember to include APA resources. So you want to try and extend the conversation, and you can always ask questions of your peers too. I believe now you can go in and revise posts once you've posted them. That's a little bit different now that we've moved from a different software to Canvas. Let's see, you need to do a minimum of 2 responses to other students' posts. So just remember that. That it needs to be 2 different peers. And then your initial discussion board post. So that initial one that you're replying to or you're responding to, that's your initial one. It needs to be, it needs to have at least 2 citations in there. And then the responses, so that's what you're responding to your peers. So all of your peers too are going to have an initial post. They need to be a minimum of 150 words. So if your response posts to your peers are a minimum of 150 words, then your initial post should be more than that. So I'd say a minimum of around 200 words for your initial post, okay? So they're really to demonstrate and share your knowledge and experience. So we want it to validate what you're learning here in the nutrition class. And then remember, citations and references must be in APA formatting. And then we like your references to be peer-reviewed materials that are published within the past 5 years. So make sure you read through this rubric to kind of help guide you with the discussion board grading. So it needs to be posted on time. If it's late, you'll get points deducted. It needs to answer what is asked, and it needs to be thorough. So it needs to directly address the key issue or question. It needs to offer original, thoughtful insight. It needs to demonstrate understanding the concept. It needs to show 2 examples of applied knowledge and understanding of the topic. So that's why I say it needs to be more substantive. It needs to be around 200 words for your initial post. And then it needs to be in complete sentences, use correct grammar, spelling. And then we want you to have the 2 APA references. Remember that for your initial post. So this is your initial post to the discussion forum. Here's your response to peers and what's required for that rubric. So remember, responses need to be on time. 2 responses are provided on a different day from your initial post. They need to be substantive interactions. Use course content, use your book, and it needs to be using appropriate APA citations and references. They need to be courteous and professional. And then for your peer responses, you need to use at least 1 APA reference for each of those. And then of course you'll have points deducted for any grammar or APA errors, okay? That's where a lot of the points can get deducted, is from APA and grammar and spelling errors. So please pay attention. Reread everything that you post or before you post it. Here is the grading criteria for the discussion board. So where the points are, if you get 45 points, is 100%. The Q&A responses, this is the rubric for that. It's worth 10% of your final grade for all of those, 2.5% grade for each of those. It's an opportunity for you to reflect on what you've learned through the PowerPoint lectures. Remember that the Q&A questions are embedded in the PowerPoint voiceover lectures. So they're due by the end of day 7. So that's Sunday at midnight. And they're graded on the quality of your response. So remember, you need to answer the question correctly, and it's important that you follow the rubric when you're answering these Q&A responses. So you'll need to answer the question correctly, as well as provide a thorough rationale. And that's the main thing with these Q&As, is provide a thorough rationale. You need to include at least 3 sentences providing good evidence, answering the why and or how to support the answer. And then for the incorrect answers, so the answers that are wrong, you need to provide at least 1 sentence for each, stating why it was incorrect or not the best answer. So again, you need to do APA formatting. It needs to have at least 1 APA citation and reference. Anything quoted, it needs to be used sparingly. So you can use quoted material in APA formatting, but use sparingly and appropriately. And then, remember to use APA formatting. And then it should be peer reviewed, published within the last 5 years. So for full points, it needs to be on time. It needs to be the correct answer. So if you get incorrect answer, it's already 5 points off for the assignment. And then you need to include at least 3 sentences supporting, just for the correct answer, at least 3 sentences supporting why it was correct. And then supporting, how to support the answer and giving evidence and answering the why. And then provide at least 1 sentence for each of the incorrect answers, stating why it was incorrect or why it was not the best answer, and then APA formatting, and you need at least 1 appropriate reference for each Q&A assignment. So that's rubric for that. And then 20 points is 100%, and this is the grading scale for the Q&A, and it's worth 20 points. So that is the rubric for those. For the Q&A discussion board, and then we went over the dietary analysis assignment. Let me say a couple other things. So some of these PowerPoints and voiceovers, you need to be signed into Google in order to access the recordings and to view some of the documents. So if you go into like a PowerPoint, or if you click on the voiceover and it's not letting you log in, make sure that you're signed in, even in another tab, that you're signed into your Google account. So your riverside.edu account, and that ensures that you're able to access because most of these voiceovers and lectures are in the Google Drive account. So it just ensures that you're able to access that. And then if you have any questions, please email me. I think that is all for the course. Good luck with everything. And again, if you have any questions at all, let me know, and I will see you guys soon for test 1. Have a great, I hope you have a great 4th of July, and I can't wait to see you guys for the course.